History. What did our ancestors give up in order for us to move forward? Culture. What traditions did we preserve from our ancestors so that we don't lose a sense of who we are? Stay tuned as we get a taste of both history and culture straight from the Caribbean island of Trinidad. On This Food Bangs. Today, I'm in North London, Edmonton, to meet my friend Zara. Jeez! She's cooked up a banging Caribbean banquet straight from Trinidad. I sat down with Zara to talk about her heritage and her upbringing.
I would never say I'm British first.
Yeah.
If people ask me where I'm from, I say parents from Trinidad.
Right. And that's what you say first.
Yeah.
My parents are from Trinidad.
Yeah.
Zara was born in Edmonton. However, her parents make up 6 generations of Indians who went over to Trinidad to work in hopes for a better life. Which is a surprise to me because when I hear Trinidad, this is what comes to mind.
Jump away, jump away, it's carnival.
Yeah.
That's what is
That's
known for. Really.
yes.
Anyways, moving on swiftly.
You've got bus up shut.
Bus up shut. Bus up shut. What else?
You've got stewed lamb, brown stew, macaroni pie, and just a general potato salad, and some steamed plantain as well.
Plantain. We're not going to get into that right now.
For the brown stew lamb, she adds sugar to the oil. Once the sugar has been cooked down, she adds the lamb to the mixture. She then adds tomato, garlic, and onions. That was my Trinidadian accent there. She adds kidney beans to the mixture, adds water, and just lets it simmer. Potato salad. She chops up spring onions, adds it to the potatoes. She then adds sweet corn and mayonnaise. Macaroni pie, also known as the mac pie. It consists of spaghetti, egg, condensed milk, and grated cheese. Recipe will be on our website, www.thisfoodbangs.com. Check it out.
Listen, obviously, when you told me you were from Trinidad, the first thing that came to mind was, what? Swear, I was like, no disrespect.
No,
none. Thinking somewhere in, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Like
usual thing.
Do you get that a lot?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Or I get like, oh, where are you from? Oh, my parents are from Trinidad. But where are you really from?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it throws people even more because I'm obviously Muslim. So they're always a bit like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Talk to us about your lineage then. How does it?
Well,
It's mad.
the Caribbean consists of people with different ethnic backgrounds.
Right.
The food represents the ethnic composition of Trinidad and Tobago and reflects a history of conquest and immigration when Christopher Columbus discovered Trinidad and Tobago on his voyage. Trinidad by that point was inhabited by the indigenous people, also known as the First People. Tobago was ruled intermittently by the Dutch, the French, and the English in its early colonial history before it was ceded by the United Kingdom.
Indians came over during the indentured slave trade.
In the mid-1800s, indentured labourers were brought to replace freed African slaves who refused to continue working on the sugar plantations. Some would say that indentureship was a new form of slavery. However, the workers were contracted for a period of 5 years with a daily wage as low as 25 cents. They were also guaranteed return passage to India at the end of their contract. Once the indentured labourers served out their contract, a majority of them did not go back. And when they did, they were unable to locate their families.
I think some family members did some research, like hired someone to do some research, and they actually got the certificate from when she came over from India, and like the village she came from, and I think she came with 2 sons to Trinidad. Right. So we know that's my grandmother's side, I think. So we know where she came from. There's been talk of my ancestry going back to Arawaks and as well. So I think she might have come and someone mixed with Arawaks and but that's obviously not on paper, but we know that which village she came from in India.
Right.
My dad's side, my surname obviously indicates that they came from the Punjab, maybe, but we don't know specifically like where. Right. So that's kind of as far as I've gone, really, to be honest. I haven't done any DNA. I guess it's just quite sad, really, especially when you hear the stories and read about and research how the indigenous people were treated. Right. And how it affected the land. Right. And the import and export and things. It makes me feel sad. It does. And that it's still very deep rooted in a lot of Trinidadians, and I guess maybe Caribbeans on the whole, like the colonisation. Yeah. It's still deep rooted, like the way we see ourselves, I guess, the way we see each other.
Let's talk about how your heritage correlates to this meal that we've had here.
Yeah.
Like, which bit of this sort of dish that I've got on my plate is from
Indo.
And
it would be the roti. Basap shop.
The
roti. The roti. So the other name for this roti is paratha roti. Yeah. So the Indo name is paratha roti. So I needed the flour like you would normally need bread. I let that soak for a while. And then I make what you call the loy. I think that's the proper way of saying it. I'm probably saying it wrong. But they're little balls. So you do that and I like to let that soak for a little bit longer. Then you roll them out with your rolling pin and you spread butter on it. And you kind of roll it up into a cone. Yeah. And then make another ball. And then I like to let that sit for a little bit as well. Right. Then you roll it out and you cook it.
Zara cooks it on this. This is known as the tawa. The tawa is usually made of cast iron or aluminium. They are also used to prepare all kinds of flatbreads ranging from chapati and paratha and chila. She brushes the paratha with oil.
Basically, and you kind of mash it up a bit and it flakes and separates. And that's the process.
They call it bust up shut because it looks like a burst shirt.
So Trinidad, you would get Creole cooking, and you would get Indo, and it meshes really nicely in Trinidad. And so I like to say it's like Indian with a twist. So although I've said this is paratha roti, it's not the same paratha roti you would get in an Indian restaurant here. It's different, so it's kind of been adapted. Our curries are different as well, usually not as spicy. We don't use the same flavors as Indian curries. Right. So Indo food is probably like the main, like curry goat, you probably heard about, roti, doubles, which is like a curry chickpeas in something we call bara. It's like a street food. So that's all kind of Indo. I think the stew would probably be more like Creole and the macaroni pie. Yeah. But as you can see, it just meshes, which is Trinidad really. Everything just meshes.
That's you know what, that's beautiful. Like the fact that everything just sort of, it's like there's an amalgamation of every culture and every sort of heritage going on in this dish. Is it like that in Trinidad? Is everyone together, or is there some sort of cultural segregation, would you say? Because you embrace the food. So do you embrace each other?
Not always, if I'm honest.
Really?
There's racial tension, especially
amongst
between Indos and blacks.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like now with the younger generations, there isn't. Even my generation, to be honest. But there are some issues.
Really?
Yeah, there are, especially with Indos. Yeah.
Did you experience any sort of racial tension when you went back?
Not when I go back. Not when I go back.
Did your
But you hear it.
Really?
And like the things that people say casually as well, which wouldn't be like here would be like, Would you say? You know,
yeah.
things that are just thrown around there. Sometimes you're a bit like, I'm not too comfortable with this conversation. So there is a little bit, and sometimes it's like bants, like they see it as banter, and you're like, it's not bants. It's not bants. So yeah, there is, but I feel like things are improving, and things are getting better. Well, I hope. Obviously, I don't live there, so I'm not there every day, and I'll go by like what my parents tell me and what my family tells me and stuff. But I would hope that with the younger generations coming up, things are a little bit better.
Yeah.
In terms of racial tension and coming together, because you know that's what the island needs. The island needs people to.
For real.
That's what everywhere needs.
Yeah, because like this dish it's got a bit of everything.
Yeah.
A bit of every culture. You've got a bit of African here. You've got a bit of Creole here. A bit of Indo here. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, why can't we just all get along if we eat the same food?
Friends? Exactly.
You know, it's a universal sort of thing.
Exactly. Like. And there's even across the islands, like I could talk to like Jamaicans about roti. I could. Do you know what I mean? We have so much in common.
That's what I'm saying. That's mad.
It's special.
The Trinidad and Tobago Carnival is an annual event. The event is well known for participants' colourful costumes and exuberant celebrations. I want to go to Trinidad. This could have been me, but Boris and COVID had other plans.
One day, my bucket list, I always say I need to go to Trinidad and smash this carnival.
Everybody's there. White Trinis, Indo-Trinis, they're all there.
Swear. Would you say that that's the only time everyone comes together? Or I know people are together, but is that the only time where
it is one of the big like things in Trinidad? Like I guess people will come together because it's so known for carnival.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people might not understand the history of carnival and things like that, which is important to understand as well. But it is a time when people do come together. A lot of people come together. And don't get me wrong, listen, Trinidadians, there isn't separate, like people aren't in different pockets all the time.
Yeah.
But there can be tension. But for the most part, people do get along and to marry, you know, all that business. So.
Now, obviously, you're involved in a project that I took part in, you know. Took some sexy pics and that. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Zara caught my good side. The sun was beaming. You know what I mean?
It was beautiful.
Listen, I felt that glow. Obviously,
it was beautiful.
I love your campaign. I love what you're doing.
You.
What was the motivation behind it? And before you go into that, what is your campaign?
So my project is called Less Than 10.
Right.
And it's a documentary photography project.
Right.
Dedicated to celebrating black and ethnic minority educators in the UK. Less than 10 refers to the fact that if you're looking at black and Asian teachers, they make up less than 10% of the teacher workforce in the UK. 92.9% of head teachers are white.
That's insane. That's insane.
So there are like less than I think it's 200 black head teachers.
Right.
And, you know, the statistics are shocking, quite frankly, disgusting. So, that's basically the project. I go around and take pictures of educators like I did with you. And they write up a little blurb about themselves and about their aspirations for education, their hopes for education. And it's posted on Instagram. Currently working on a website, working on some exciting things because it's blown up a little bit, you know, which I appreciate. And that's basically the project in a nutshell. I love that project. And like you said, those statistics are, quite frankly, they're shocking. Absolutely shocking. I've opened it up to, you know, not just teachers, but I've got behaviour mentors, I've got teaching assistants, high-level teaching assistants. I've got people from white ethnic minorities who feel isolated and excluded as well. So, you know, I've kind of opened up the project a little bit to try and accommodate and welcome people, because I want to hear everyone's stories. For real. So that's basically it. What have you learned in doing that? What have you learned? That educators of colour really want to be heard. Firstly, you know, I started this project. Is it systemic racism, you think? Yeah. Yeah, it's deep rooted. Yes. All the way from the government writing the curriculum. How can we? Yeah, sorry, carry on. Yeah, so from the minute I started the project, whether people were coming to me or whether I went to them, people were just jumping at, you know, the chance to do it.
Sure.
And I feel like it's because my feeling is that we don't feel heard or recognised, especially when educators are doing such fantastic work in this country, whether it's in education or out of education. You've got this creative project. You know, there are teachers who have written books. There are teachers who are doing similar projects in different places in the country, and this doesn't get highlighted and it's not shown. And that's definitely one thing I've learned, is that we're just not heard, barely seen. And the second thing is, following on from that, is the fantastic work that Black and ethnic minority educators are doing in this country. Like,
for real.
You know, just some brilliant work within education, out of education, that I would not have learned about if I didn't start this project.
Jeez, listen, I've had a banging meal and a banging conversation with Zara here. And honestly, thank you very much for having me. Less than 10, obviously your project. Can you tell our viewers where they can get?
You can follow Less Than 10 on Instagram, so it's a less than _10. Website pending. You can also follow Zara Singh Photography, one word, which is my photography page as well. Right.
Honestly, she's doing big things, so make sure you give it a follow. Very insightful picture blogs, I always say, I refer it to as. And yeah, make sure you like, you subscribe. She's going to give us a recipe that we're going to bang on our website. It could be any of these lovely Trinidadian dish right here, you know what I mean?
I love the Jamaican accent.
Okay, that wasn't Trinidadian. Okay. So yeah, she's going to give us a recipe, but yeah, make sure you subscribe, you like, and yeah, go onto our website for recipes, blogs, and everything else. So yeah, thank you very much for watching This Food Bangs. Bang bang.